Hello and welcome everyone to LCS Challengers day number 4 of playoffs, which means beatdown. Eliminations are now on the line. We're going to be saying goodbye to two of our teams today, which is definitely going to be heartbreaking, and it's definitely going to be a pretty big battle to stay in the lower bracket. My name is Eric Bo3s, and of course joining me, it's Nate the Great, Beatdown Boulevard. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I'm back in the booth with you again, Eric, and we have an exciting, but of course sad day of games. Because it's like you said, 2 of these teams are going home. We are already starting our lower bracket matches here in the NACL playoffs, and teams are fighting for their lives at this point. First one's expended.
Now, before we get too much into this, can we take another moment to give a thank you to Team Liquid? Because these last 2 days, man, they've been going the full 5 games, and then our broadcast goes the full 6 games, ending around like 1 a.m. Eastern time. Man, it's going to be hard for some of our players as we pull up the bracket right now, Beatdown.
Yeah, shout out C9 and TL. That's all I need to say. But now we can see this bracket's been filled up a little more, guys, and things are playing out now. We're getting closer and closer. We already have 2 teams who are fighting for a spot at the winners final in the FlyQuest Challengers and TLC. And now we already have some lower bracket matchups, which we'll be covering today. We're going to be doing AOE Wildcard and Maryville Supernova. You can already see their next opponent has been set as well in DSG and Cincinnati Fear.
But let's talk about that, man. How in the world did this bracket
I
end
know.
up
How
this
did
way?
we get here?
We were almost in a world where FlyQuest almost dropped. AOE were so close to taking them down.
Dude.
We had that war between Wildcard and Fear. MU almost dropped to DSG. And now we have Supernova in the lower bracket as well. Like, this was a banger start. This has been a great, a tumultuous, at least start to this playoffs bracket. And now it's got us in a way where... I don't know what's going to happen, Beatdown. Like, I don't know how to really vote for these teams. I don't know who to root for anymore. I don't know who's going to take first place. I mean, FlyQuest still looking good.
I was going to say, come on there. But yeah, even FlyQuest can bleed. But of course, one thing I do know, Eric, is that these teams are playing for that chance to play the finals live. That's right, guys. If you haven't heard, it has been announced that the NACL finals will be live at the Riot Games Arena on April 1st. You see that link down right below our floating heads? That's how you can purchase your tickets. I'm pretty sure they're only like $5. It's the day after LCS Finals. You're already going to be there. Come on, guys. You might as well support the future of the LCS as well.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to bring up right there. It's right after LCS Finals, man. March 31st. We follow up immediately after April 1st will be NACL Finals. So go get those tickets, book them, go support Tier 2. Let's move on to the schedule of the day so we can see the action that will be unfolding on the broadcast. AOE versus Wildcard will be the first match, and then, of course, that number 2 versus number 3, Maryville University versus Supernova. Definitely going to be a hype matchup.
Oh man, that second series, that is quite a story, Eric. But of course, we're going to set our sights on the AOE and Wildcard. Wildcard got upset a little bit by Cincinnati Fear because Wildcard, of course, were the higher seed there at 4th place. AOE, on the other hand, were quite literally inches away from upsetting our first seed.
They were so close.
Yeah, but now they got sent down here as well.
Yeah, so close they were. I mean, that's how wild the bracket was actually unfolding. Let's pull up the rosters. Starting off first with Area of Effect. Now, this team, we're starting to see some redemption come out of a lot of these members, whether it be team cohesion or Rosethorn redeeming some of the shenanigans that happened late into the season. Being able to hold his own with some of those grabs around neutral objectives. Onat has definitely been one of the bigger highlights for me, though, because he's been a player that is very confident, always striving to improve, and it's shown, especially coming from Summer Split to this split.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since we saw Onat in the promotion tournament, we saw these sparks from him, these bright moments where we're like, okay, this guy is actually pretty good. And I think he has grown since that tournament last split, and I think he's actually developed quite a bit into a pretty solid player, one who is exciting to watch when he's on a lot of his preferred mage champions.
And of course, their opponents will be Wildcard, which it's always kind of funny to bring them up because it's basically St. Louis with Quacker in the top side instead. Now, this team, it's been interesting seeing them grow, especially over in the bot lane. Aaron has looked so much better than he has in previous seasons. such as like CLG Faith. We didn't really get the best look at him. Being paired up with Doxa, who's now filling up in that support role, it's starting to make Wildcard look more like a more compatible, formidable foe.
I would think so as well. It's still hard for me to see. I don't know what to make of this roster because we've seen some really high highs from them and we've seen some pretty low lows as well. It's interesting too with both of these teams. In Game 3 of their previous series in the upper bracket, they were in game-winning scenarios. AOE, it pains me how close they were to winning that, and one mistake cost them the whole series. Wildcard, partially, got to give credit to Lens, he is the GOAT, but also Wildcard was still in a really strong position, and they ended up dropping the ball.
Yeah, I do remember that game. Wildcard actually had their win condition coming online. The Smolder was looking great.
He was looking great.
And, man, Lens, he definitely did clutch that out. Now Wildcard looking for some redemption down here in the lower bracket. So we are getting word that draft will be ready in just a second. And as we do watch this draft, I mean, Wildcard will be taking that blue side. I'm always going to be looking out for some rather particular bans. Senna is one that always comes up because Wildcard love pivoting into that champ to allow Doxa to open up his champion pool.
For sure. And I think Senna, Ashe, a lot of these Karma as well are champs you usually see just kind of banned away immediately at the start, and for the most part that really isn't going to change. Rumble is something that's popped up a little more in ban priority. It is a favorite of Zamudo's, so you aren't always going to see that ban first rotation, so just to know that is a little bit of a target.
And again, even with the Senna being banned away, which is something that Aaron takes because Dox has played both the mid lane, he's played the top lane, he has a very expansive champion pool that can capitalize on that Senna. It's not just the only thing that Wildcard were going for. It brought them early success, but Aaron actually stepping up to the plate. We've seen a lot of games where he's popped off on Smolder to help bolster this team.
100%. I mean, Aaron as a player has been very exciting to watch. I remember when he played for that CLG Faith roster about a year ago now. Just about. And honestly, there really wasn't much to speak about. Let's be real, he wasn't very good. I think he's improved so much in this last year and has become a bright spot for me on this Wildcard roster. And you guys heard about those new awards. I personally voted for Aaron for most improved player because I think he has grown that much.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call out, Beat. He's definitely really blossomed in this spring split. But we are now finishing up the bans as the Karma and Nautilus getting taken away. A Wildcard. Taking a look at the bans for AOE, they do give that respect ban over to Quacker, that Darius. Quacker, very, very capable at these ghost champions that can just get in your face. Final ban will be Ashe.
Well, so I'm wondering what they're going to open up with. Usually, it could be of something like the Varus. We're having a little fun with that one, that main pick. That's not serious in the slightest. And, I mean, the most common first pick we've seen so far while it's available is the Varus. I imagine we're going to see them go for that for Aaron. But it just depends. There's a lot of things they could prioritize.
They could go for this Orianna instead, so it is going to open them to more of a team fight orientation when it does come to this draft. So that's going to be the first lock-in. Does leave that Varus open that you were talking about earlier, and AoE quick to nab that up.
Yeah, that is an that's interesting, though, because I think that early Ori priority kind of makes me wonder if Wildcard are looking for a very quick Nocturne pickup. I mean, we've seen that pairing. Yeah. It is still very strong, and that's what makes the Varus champ a little rough, even though he is in a really strong spot, low mobility. As soon as he gets on top of you with that Ori ball, this Nocturne will rip you to pieces.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of people pair the Nocturne with the Orianna. Rel is another pairing that we saw very recently. Basically stuff that helps to camouflage the ult engage that a team is looking to do. So with the Varus locked in, this does leave that sort of gambit coming out to AoE. You know the Nocturne can be the next lock-in, but instead of bluffing around with that one, they're just going to go straight for the Ahri.
And that is one of Onat's best champions, and since it's gotten some consecutive buffs these last couple of patches, something they're very comfortable picking early on into the draft. And at this point, what's the verdict for Wildcard? They could get an 80 carry for Aaron. They could hold that till later and just early prio the Nocturne. Or maybe when he just goes into something else like the Zinza, which is still up and available, and a fine pairing in itself.
Yeah. And I would like to see Winnie get his jungle pick earlier than later, and this is exactly why. With the Nocturne locked in, I mean, if you wait till the next part of the draft, it's going to get banned away, absolutely. And it also gives AoE the opportunity to ban away stuff like Vi or the Xin Zhao you had mentioned, which Winnie, he loves to go in. He loves to fight. So this is a good pairing coming out for Wildcard's mid-jungle duo.
And I'm wondering too, I'm wondering if we're going to see the early top pick come from Quacker. So you're in a position where Zamudo might have to take his pick now or risk getting his pool pinched even more. The Darius being banned ends up opening that position for Quacker as well, since that's a really good answer into the Udyr. And I'm wondering if Zamudo is going to play the other answer that we've seen earlier on into the split, which is the Olaf.
All right, instead it is going to be Renekton over in the top side. So we're going to grab the Gator and establish this, at least the early forms of what we're looking for in these squads. I mean, for Wildcard, it's going to be about diving onto that Varus with the Orianna ball on you, get that shockwave through. We're seeing a lot of skirmish and pick coming out of AoE, as well as that poke from the piercing arrow.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why I'm wondering too. Smolder's definitely a good shout, good ban from AoE. I'm wondering if the Vi is actually going to come out. I have to believe Wildcard are going to look to at least take that combo away. So I think that is a really strong pairing that we've seen teams utilize. And we could also see them go a different route and start pinching the support pool maybe, because Wildcard's comp is all about running into you. Maybe getting rid of champs that can deal with that is the route. And I mean, we're seeing that. It's not a support, but the Kindred is a perfect example that Lamb's Respite would be a way to deny that huge combo that Wildcard have cooked up.
Yeah, I want to see what the next ban is going to be, more specifically from Wildcard, because they are targeting that jungle pull, as you'd mentioned a little bit earlier, beatdown. And with an Arya, I always want to see something that's going to go forward and provide even the slightest amount of crowd control to set up some of these charms. Vi has always been one of the bigger ones, but if you get pinched a little bit too much here, you can go something like the J4, for example, to try and set that up. So next ban is going to be towards the marksman pool, trying to take away some of Aaron's best, Smolder and Jinx off the table.
Yeah, I think Jinx has been popping up a little bit now in priority. Aaron has always been a fan of the champion, so I like that look as well. And especially when you have such a strong mid-jungle combo, basically a guaranteed set play you can go for. Picking a more scaling-oriented AD carry, I think would end up working for you really well. So I'm wondering if Aaron will go that route just on a different champion. Maybe we'll see a Felios or something like that.
Okay, so the Vi was banned away. Rosethorn would have liked to play that, but hey, you still get the Sejuani nonetheless, which does act towards that way, both for the top lane, giving that synergistic value when it comes to the permafrost, and both in the mid lane, setting up the charms.
Yeah, so this is a good, I think this is a good response there for Rosethorn, and he's very competent on the champion, and it's really nice. Sejuani with the melee top, it's going to make it easier for Rosethorn to have more effective ganks on that side of the map, and it's something that they can punish around the map. Wow. That was a
statement right there coming out from Aaron and Doxa, and they're throwing down with Wixie Breezy as well. So this is going to be very interesting to me because Wixie Breezy, at least coming into this season, I had more expectations for them. In the past, they've been very, at least separately on their squads, they've been very dominant. Maybe not showing the best when it comes to being together with AOE, but trying to throw down with this combo still seems very feisty to me.
Yeah, and I like this one too because it's very combat oriented. You should be able to get push in that bot side, but it is double range. It's double range. It will be very contested. I mean, this Kalista Renata is such a strong pairing though, and I like it when you pair it with things like the Nocturne because when the lights are out, it's a little harder to see that hostile takeover.
True.
This combo from Wildcard is really insane. And I think if AoE don't get that ball rolling early on, they have some insurance with the Varus and the Lulu, but I think it will still be very hard for them to play the game.
I think one of the biggest worries that you have for Wildcard is going to be the fact that there is some low range when you have the Kalista, and you have a lot of members on AoE that want to go forward and take this Kalista out in a heartbeat. So you're going to have to be careful onto that positioning. So we head on to the Rift right now. Got to ask that big question, beat down, and that's who got this? Will eventually show up right now. There it is. There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Right,
so you're predicting it. I love it.
Yeah. WC for Wildcard, or AOE for Area of Effect. A reminder: this is lower bracket playoffs.
Right.
This is an elimination game. Your tournament lives are on the line.
Already, you can see AOE not messing around at all. That bot side control very important for them. Walking as 5 to get that ward down, just so Aaron and Doxa cannot surprise them, get out an early summoner, and basically just instantly take control of that bottom lane.
And taking control of that bottom lane is definitely going to be big for Wildcard. You have the Kalista Renata. That's what you're going to be fighting for a lot. And usually you want to get some Dragon control off of that combo. You want to see Winnie stacking those Drakes early in the name of Wildcard.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be interested to see how Rosethorn looks to face that.
It'll be interesting too, because while I don't think Wildcard necessarily need Dragon Soul to win the game, creating these soul conditions where AOE are going to have to move into Wildcard if they get 3 Drakes early is going to be really good for the comp that Wildcard is working with right now.
See, Rosethorn's going to start on his Raptors. All the meanwhile, Winnie on the Wolves. Get a cool little view right here. Split screen, checking the way our lanes are beginning. And, yeah. We're not going to see the top lane because we hate the top lane. That is an island.
Top laners, no rights. You heard it here first, guys. I want it on record that I agree, so it's okay. I'm with you, Eric. It's fine. I will say early on, both junglers are going for basically a mirrored clear. And right now, Winnie's location is unknown to the members of AOE, but Wildcard took the opportunity toward the Raptors. So Aaron and Doc said they're going to have a pretty good idea when Rosethorn is on this side of the map. And AOE, they're going to be scratching their heads for a little bit. Like, where is Winnie? What is he looking to do? Even though it's a level 3, going to be level 4 Nocturne, still want to be careful not to give him really easy gank opportunities.
And for the most part, Winnie is going to be looking to get level 6 as fast as possible to utilize that paranoia. But the damage of a Nocturne can sneak up on you. Duskreener really does amplify. Now Darkwings in mid lane. Gonna have to be forced to burn his flash right here and get caught by the Arctic Assault. Waiting for the stun flashing over the wall. Here comes Rosethorn. He anticipated a flash to come through. No permafrost stun going to be found, so Rosethorn puts his attention right onto the Nocturne. When he tries to trade, and he'll win out for first blood. Onat gets the vengeance, and now with that, Darkwings, a couple more autos. The red buff does its work, and it's a double kill for Onat.
Wow, that works out really well for AoE's mid laner. I like this patience from Darkwings. He knows his jungler is nearby. There was a ping earlier, so they expected this gank. And Darkwings, while sidestepping the charm, wants to wait for his jungler to show up. They believe they were going to win this 2v2. The problem ends up being, though, the buff transfer that you mentioned. Because Winnie ended up with both buffs after killing Rosethorn, he essentially was able to give that over to Onat, and that's what made the difference.
It's kind of funny the way he tried to do that prediction and ends up hitting Winnie anyway from Rosethorn. That was the idea right there, because once you throw out the, I believe it's the W, does that, you anticipate someone to flash immediately after. So that was the idea right there, but nonetheless, it's going to give AoE a pretty great start as 2 kills going over to an Ahri in the early game's got to feel great now.
Absolutely, especially in this game. Oh, hold on. No flash from Rosethorn. Oh, okay.
Straight up nabs it like it's a fast food drive-through.
Yeah, that's nice. It's going to give him that little bit of a lead. He still has his red buff to farm as well. So this could just be him finishing the red, resetting. He's going to have a nice back as well. Or we actually saw that come through because he got that first blood. So even though Onat getting double buffs, making this lane easier, getting 2 kills is going to be nice. Kills on the Nocturne is also still going to be a problem for AoE.
See Rosethorn still hanging around this area, looking to deny some vision. It's going to be at the same time that Winnie is pathing up towards his top camp, so Rosethorn will have the first footing towards the Scuttle Crab, but it's not going to really work out too well, given the pinch that's now coming out thanks to priority from Quacker.
Yeah, mid and top squarely in control of Wildcard. So Winnie is kind of getting his run of the map right now, especially having those double long swords. You feel really good about skirmishing when you're mid and top are pushing in. So he's going to have an easy time picking up these Void Grubs. He's going to get another Scuttle Crab, and he's going to get another fat face as soon as he's done.
So good start from Winnie. We'll grab him 3 Void Grubs. Telegrubbies, as we've determined they were called back.
Those are the little ones. Those are the little
Thursday.
ones.
Okay, right. It's the little ones. What are these?
The Void Mites, you know?
Do we just call them Void Grubs now? I mean...
I think so. Oh, wait, yeah.
Or the Ed and Eddies?
I can accept that because there's 3 of them. Better than Kevin's. I still don't know where that came from or why that was decided. So, yeah. Let's go with that.
All right, now pathing down will be Winnie, and this is where we get from that mirrored clear. Jungler's going to be on similar sides of the map around the same time. It's just Winnie's taking his recall right now as Rosethorn goes for the invade.
He's going to be able to get those respawn Raptors, which is going to feel really good, considering what was taken from him early on and the lead Winnie has been able to get. Question is, will he get caught? Because if another scrap happens, things might be a little tough here for Wildcard. Now, Darkwings has cleared the wave. He has level 6.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's just going to respect it. He knows his Raptors are gone.
Yeah, he's got to know something's up right now. With the Orianna, you can get vision over the wall if you want to check those Raptors, so there's very easy ways to not risk your life and endanger yourself. Now both junglers still ending around this bottom side, and it seems like Rosethorn might fancy a fight because Dox is getting low, and here comes Winnie. The jungler's going to arrive. Winnie not choosing to use the Dustbringer yet. Lands it onto Wixie. Aaron goes forward. Tether goes on, instantly broken by Rosethorn. Neither team willing to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's Winnie being here is so important because Doxa is getting low. Wixie and Breezy were smelling blood. So he is actually just hanging around long enough in hopes that he can dissuade a play and help Aaron and Doxa just clear out that wave so that they can recall.
There's a fight going in the top lane. Quacker trying to take it to Zamudo. Zamudo has to use the Dominus. Zamudo thinks he can stay in, though, trying to
no,
heal
he's
up
gone.
off of the wave. No, he accepts his demise, and Quacker will get the solo kill.
Oh man, that Warden's Mail doing so much work for Quacker topside. Now he's got a pretty big lead going through, and Zamudo's going to drop that entire wave that you see him stacking towards the turret there. No teleport. You're going to have to walk back. Pressure all across the map means that Winnie's going to be able to pick up the first Drake of the game.
Easy pickup and a nice solo kill for Quacker, who was, remember, our solo kill king back in 2023. I forget if he had it for both summer and spring. I know he had it for spring for sure.
And I'm pretty sure it was summer when he actually had that. I will say too, getting it on the Udyr is really nice because I think it was in an interview or something. He said that they stopped picking Udyr because he's not very good at it. Well, how about a solo kill? Losers improve. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, you know, practice it. Eventually, it will be in your repertoire with time. I mean, we've seen that from other players. I think Surdy is one that comes to mind. He practiced the Rumble a lot in the offseason. And coming back stronger, better, with a more diverse champion pool. It's great to see from Quacker, who, for the most part, he did kind of feel one-dimensional when we first saw him, but he's been spreading his wings more and getting some of that growth here in NACL.
That's what it's all about here. It's a developmental league, That's what we love to see. And wow, and again, Onat now getting pushed. Using that extra gold that he's gotten with that Lost Captor to be able to help Rosethorn steal another Raptor camp away. So that is at least something that Rosethorn is able to get back, but Winnie's still squarely in the lead.
Now, as the recalls come in, it's going to be Darkwings headed down towards this bottom end. Wixie does have a ward over there, as well as a ward that's spotting out Wixie on his rotation, so it's not going to be the easiest for Darkwings to move over there. This is mostly checking to see where Rosethorn has invaded at, what he's taken away. All the meanwhile, Winnie does have another angle to go towards the Void Grubs and look for what is potentially what is going to be 6 Grubs.
Yeah, Rosethorn's on the other side of the map. That's going to really easily 6 Grubs picked up, so you're going to get the maximum value from it. And it's going to be nice too because Quacker, in this matchup, we know he's going to be hitting turrets quite a lot. So this is great for Wildcard as a whole. Rosethorn will use this opportunity to steal more camps, but that's just about it. Now that Doxa's hit level 6, I think diving this bot lane is kind of hard unless you have Onat there with you. And it's even more dangerous because you just saw Winnie mid. You know he's on this bottom side of the map, and he can join very quickly, very soon.
Spell Shield comes up right away from Winnie. He does have Darkwings in the back pocket, but Onat has the pinch. Ultimate comes out.
Whoa.
Does it land onto Winnie? Nice sidestep from Winnie. He gets away from the charm of Onat.
Beautiful. Nice dodges coming through from the jungler of Wildcard. I think they're looking for something here. You do have the Nocturne Ori combo, but Winnie is low, so I'm glad they've chosen to walk away.
Dox and Aaron just measuring up Wixie and Breezy. It could have been a very close exchange right there, considering how close that crowd control was to landing onto him. Zamudo looks for some revenge against the Man-Bear Pig, going after Quacker. Quacker just gives him a bear slap to the face and walks out.
Yeah, I always say, every time you think you're about to kill Udyr, no you aren't. I'm really sorry to be the one to tell you. So it will force Quacker to stay a little longer, but really there isn't much Zamudo's going to be able to do with that. Maybe take the Scuttle Crab, get some vision, whatever the case may be, but I mean, Winnie's about to show up.
Winnie coming for the Scuttle Crab, Zamudo. Thank you for the leash. Highly appreciate it. It's going to be Scuttle going over Winnie. Now for Quacker, once we start seeing him in the side lanes, I got to ask you, what do you think the name of his duck gang is? Because he's going to have all the telegrubbies there, right?
Oh,
that's
something
basically his
duck-related?
little ducklings, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, ducklings has to be the answer, surely.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, if Rosethorn gets this one as well, that's 3 Raptors camps in a row that he's denied from Winnie. It's quite a bit, and honestly, I think it's nice use of Onat's Prio mid, and also kind of what's preventing him from falling too far behind of Winnie, who still has many camps to farm, who still has a decent lead for himself and Doxa. Okay. Everything's fine.
I'm trying to see if a fight's going to begin before I say this. Okay.
I think Winnie is here.
Is it safe? Is it safe?
I don't think it's safe.
Ooh, it's not safe. It's not safe. Winnie's going for the fight. He wants Rosethorn. Tether's going to be put onto him. There's the Shockwave. It lands onto only Rosethorn, though. There's not much fight left in the tank for Wildcard. They're starting to bail. Here comes the hostile takeover. Landing onto 2. Doxa's going to go down. Wixie is going to be the recipient of that kill. Aaron forced to bail. Same thing with Darkwings. Winnie
nice
gets
charm.
caught out by the charm, and AOE bring it back to Wildcard.
Wow, so Wildcard, right idea, wrong execution there with the play that they went for. Now you gave away 2 more kills to the side of AOE, and Onat is sitting pretty at 3. And watch this one here. Look at the wave that is under the bot side turret. Aaron is nowhere to be seen, and Wixie joined ages ago, it feels like, at this point. So you were at such a huge disadvantage, basically from the start of this play.
Yeah, and all those close calls, no more. We're landing it right on the money for AOE to grab Winnie.
Right.
Couldn't sidestep that one. That's 3 kills going over to the O Nation. This Ahri is definitely going to be online. Look at Quacker go, man. He's just tearing apart these blades.
That's what Udyr does, man. Now we're back to the Drake fight coming through here. This would still be big for Wildcard if they were able to continue that Drake stacking. But I mean, Rosethorn is here, Onat is here, everyone is here. But few people have ults to speak for.
Right, a look at the main steal comes out from Rosethorn. Will it cost him his life, though? He gets pulled in, but is just going to walk on out. Teleport channeled by Zamudo. He has the Dominus available. Quacker also in the vicinity. Charm will not land, and AOE happy to snag a Dragon Steel.
That's right, Rosethorn gets away with a heist. They're able to get the Drake, walk away, and it costs them, I mean, literally nothing. You can just watch this one play out again, and you can see a good use of the Blast Cone there from Rosethorn. Reposition himself and is just able to use that Arctic Assault. I'm pretty sure he just went straight for it. Q Smite, like he just knew he was that guy, I guess.
He is that guy, Rosethorn, in playoffs. Completely different beast this time, but pulls it out with the smites. You know what? That's probably it, right? Because in failure, you're supposed to gain the most. We had that end of the season smite still where Rosethorn got jacked by, I think it was Young. So now that we're in playoffs, Rosethorn is like, no more. I will secure every smite there is.
So now I'm the thief. Well, we'll see if he's going to get another chance because Herald started.
All right, here we go. Oh, the combo is beautiful by Winnie. As well as the hostile takeover pulls Wixie right to his demise, and Breezy has to flash out.
And that's basically what you guys can expect for the rest of this game. If Wixie can't avoid that combo and is just going to get CC'd into his own death, Wildcard still have a fighting chance in this game. And without Flash, without Cleanse, that kill was as easy as could be.
Oh man, a quick pickup right there. That's always going to be the danger. If Wixie doesn't have his sums up, Winnie and Darkwings can capitalize in a heartbeat. And now look at Doxa coming in deeper into the jungle, trying to get some deep vision established. I'm not sure if they spotted where Rosethorn was right now. It does look like Rosethorn's going to get around. Darkwings might just be better off going for the tower, because that's going to be Brick Gold going to nothing. Yes, he still will get the solo Brick Gold. It will cost him his life.
Yeah, definitely a little overeager. At least it's kind of worth it because, like you said, he got first brick. But you're just giving away kills that you maybe don't need to be doing. I will say it's good for AOE to be able to get what they can here. 4 out of 5 of their kills are on Onat, though. So there is a world where, in fights, if Wildcard can take him out, or a fight is happening where this RE isn't, and then that goal difference won't really end up mattering.
And that really is the O Nation for you. Kind of far from where we started back in 23 summer, back on Team Fish Taco. That was definitely a pretty rough team, but now seeing this come together on the RE, showing all the growth that he's gotten during the regular season, 4-0-1 right now, and taking the driver's seat for AOE.
Yeah, and it's nice too, as I think we have a pause coming through for AOE in general, because not only has ONAT improved, it's been tough for AOE this split. You and I were on the broadcast a couple days ago, Eric, where we talked about it, when it was AOE versus Fly. How we didn't expect a team like this to go 8th place the way that they did, and the fact that we wanted to see more from them if we weren't expecting an 0-2. Well, we almost saw them win their first game, and I think, of course, we got to give props to ONAT for his part in the almost upset and how well they played, and same with Rosethorn as well. So it would be a big deal for them to be able to get this win and avoid going 0-2 and actually make a shot at a lower bracket run.
All right, now that we do have some time, I can actually bring this up now.
What is
I want Twitch chat to help me with this one, all right?
Okay,
you guys are going to help me with this one. What are we calling the Telegrubbies whenever they come from Quacker? Because they got to be duck related. I think Ducklings is one of them. What other names do you guys have? Throw them in Twitch chat while we discuss this.
Before you confuse Twitch chat, are you referring to the Void Grubs or the Void Mites that were
Void Mites, the Void Mites.
Okay.
The ones that are going to come out every time he hits the tower and he has his full flock of ducklings.
Sure. I mean, what is it? Would you say Telegrubbies? You said Kevin.
Telegrubbies, the Ducklings.
God damn it, it's in my head. The Ducklings, that's right. I don't know what else you got.
No, Twitch chat, there's 6 of them. You got to remember, whenever Quacker hits a tower, there's going to be a lot of them coming out. So it can't just be Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Oh, well, I mean, that's great for the Void Grubs themselves. I kind of like that. Maybe that's what that chatter was referencing.
I like that. The Void Ducks. Or the Quackies.
Okay.
All right, well, we got some good names now. Let's see if we get a good fight from Wildcard. Dustbringer with the Paranoia goes in, really focusing onto the support. Quacker will have to finish off Breezy, but how far in our Wildcard now? Rosethorn looks to capitalize. Here comes the Charm, not going to find much. Gets on to Winnie. Here comes Zamudo. Zamudo goes for Aaron, but Aaron is able to hop away. Hostile takeover now, another charge. ONAT! Beautiful with the Charm over the wall, even with the cleanse. He will still claim that kill, and AOE come out ahead.
And that whole time, Darkwings is here on the top side of the map. There was no combo. There was no 5v5. I'm not sure what's going on. That's 2 fights now where Wildcard have this numbers disadvantage, and they're taking these fights anyway. They spend so long, you can see here, trying to take down Breezy. It's taking everything. Maybe because the teleport wasn't channeled, Darkwings wasn't expecting ONAT to show up. He walked his way and then used the Spirit Rush to close the gap. But as soon as he gets here, this was always an AoE win.
And this play right here, the flash over the wall, catches Aaron.
I mean, that cleanse, though. That cleanse,
throws out the cleanse so fast. It's just a shame that you're too low on health to make the outplay happen. And ONAT, the O Nation, 6-0-2 right now, popping off.
And he's got that Horizon focus already built as well. He is in a really strong position. Again, almost every fight, unless you can instantly blow up Wixie or ONAT, is going to be winning for AoE. Your combo in that Nocturne Ori, it has to be clean, it has to be swift, and that's the only way you're really going to come out on top. Right now, I'm a little worried for Wildcard, just given the decision-making behind the fights that they've been taking, and I think this is a concern I've kind of had with them all split long.
Yeah, you chase down Breezy for what felt like the better part of 10 seconds.
Yeah.
With this charge coming in from Winnie. Just able to crash into Rift Herald for the time being. But that chase really left them with nothing left in the gas tank to actually fight against AoE immediately after. They have to keep in mind the target they're going after. If it's not ONAT, if it's not Wixie, it is not worth it.
Yeah, well said. And now I like this too. You can see they have some really nice vision control over this bottom side, clearing the wave, then walking into this bottom brush. I said it earlier, walking into this comp is a little dangerous. I will say Wixie has both his summoner spells. ONAT is playing Ahri, so of course he has the Spirit Rush. But AoE, they took a Drake already, Eric. They're not looking to take their chances. They're just going to let this one go over to Wildcard.
So Wildcard will secure this. It'll be their second Drake, third Drake overall in the game. Now with the recall coming out from Quacker, I'm still going to be looking at those side lanes because that's something that AOE are going to have to pay a lot of respects to, given the Void Ducks that have been grabbed over on the side of Wildcard. And you can see already headed to the side lane is going to be Quacker to respond to Onat.
Yeah, so I like this response a lot. At first, you saw Rosethorn and Breezy move up to cover Onat, and Onat's going to be able to get this wave in, get some turret gold into his back pocket, and walk away. So I actually think that was a pretty nice response there from AOE. It's gotten their gold lead up to almost 2,000, as we're just now seeing the Baron spawn.
Actually, I would like to see the gold. Yes, thank you, Kai, of course. 1K ahead of Darkwings right now. Yeah. So for 6 kills, it's not as much as you would really think. I think part of that was, of course, the first brick gold going solo to Darkwings. But Darkwings keeping up pretty well.
Yeah, Darkwings has got a lot of turret gold. He's gotten the first brick tier 1. He got the top tier 2 himself as well. So that's part of what's keeping him kind of close to Onat. And a big reason why this gold lead in aggregate isn't hugely overwhelming in favor of AOE. But Wildcard, I think at this point they still find themselves in a somewhat difficult position because the fights that they're choosing are not ideal. And you need to get a position. You need to get in a position where you can get on top of Wixie or Onat and kill them as soon as the fight starts. But you can see AOE, they're not giving them many chances.
A lot of this is going to come off of some vision denial. You don't want to see where the Nocturne and Orianna are going. And a lot of this is going to come from the side lanes and the way Quacker sets it up to make AOE move and get out of position. The Wildcard always got to keep that in mind. Right now, Zamudo doesn't want the side lane set up. Sees Quacker, sees Darkwings, excuse me, mixing up my ducks right now over in the bottom lane. Aaron's going to respond, but not far off is Rosethorn. Instead, AOE turned their attention towards Quacker to go after the Udyr, looking to get the stun on the Permafrost. 4 members, Chain of Corruption comes out, and they lock down the Quack. Not enough to pay back. Onat goes godlike.
And it's just AOE, I think, doing a really good job of keeping track of Winnie on this Nocturne, because Kai, our observer, highlighted that ward earlier with the zoom in and out. It spotted Winnie on this Nocturne. And the thing that is so strong about this champion is if you can keep Nocturne and even Ori at times in this combo in the dark, in that fog of war, it makes it harder for the side laners of AOE to push and apply pressure. But instead, they knew where Winnie was. Zamudo was able to make that trade on Darkwings, and because of the space and the kill they got, that bot lane tier 1 is down as well. And AOE have increased their gold lead again.
And they're playing towards a lot of these cooldown timers beautifully. When they pushed for that tower right there, it was with the understanding that Shockwave was down. Whenever you don't have Paranoia or Shockwave, that's a bit of a tempo swing going over to AoE. They can play a touch more aggressively and continue to really take over this game against Wildcard.
Yeah, and it's interesting. FlyQuest Challengers in their first round game against AoE played something similar, and they rolled over AoE in the end with a great team fight. So it's good to see that AoE are responding a little better to a similar combo, or the same combo rather, in a similar comp with this Nocturne Ori. And as long as they continue to keep track of where Winnie is on the map, it's going to be a little easier for Onat and Zamudo to get pressure on the side lane.
Run! Run!
It's just over.
The swamp doesn't belong to you. They're still channeling the teleport, so Wildcard at least want to find a response. Shockwave is going to land onto 2. Here comes Quacker, but Onat has arrived into the fight, and Onat has been bloodthirsty all game, man. Will go right after Darkwings. Rosethorn picks up the kill. Quacker says goodbye to his mid laner, but Rosethorn wants to make him meet his mid laner, and they'll respawn with the charm going through. Onat, unkillable, man. 8 kills now, legendary.
Breezy.
Absolute beast. And Breezy, this Yordle wants blood. Chain of Corruption goes through, and AoE takes 0 prisoners as they grab 3.
AoE playing with unspeakable confidence this game, Eric. They know their pressure points on the side of Wildcard. They know the angles that they're allowed to take, and they take them. Noxa, you're playing with fire here, buddy. Yep. You can't stop this Baron from going down, and this teleport just guarantees it.
No, Callista Renata is not stopping this Baron take. Darkwing shows up, but why? You are only more food for this Gator, who put his chompers right down into the neck. Looking for more is AoE. They're happy to just take that Baron, and what a big win from the squad.
And now this gold lead, we've had such a big swing from AOE. It's up to 6,000 in their favor. They have the Baron to play with as well, and we got to see this one again. Again, they know Winnie's on the top side. The Ori's on the bot side. This is the perfect play to make, especially once the Shockwave is down. It's taking too long for Winnie to show up. AOE have all the members they can, and this is just an opportunity well capitalized on. They knew that there was no way Wildcard would want to fight as soon as Darkwings dies, so they keep pressing. They'll use flashes, they'll use spells, they'll use whatever they got. Ew, look at Breezy. He flashed on Lulu to make sure they could set up this last kill.
Oh, we got to get out of the replay because fight breaks out. Winnie will still secure a Drake, so this gets Wildcard to Dragon Soul Point. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how much is that is really going to matter as AOE continue to push into the jungle. They have Onat right on a flank, who's just waiting in the wings to land one of these charms on a unsuspecting member of Wildcard as the rest of AOE push in mid.
And I like this. So you have the Baroned up minions mid, applying pressure, and because they know Wildcard have to answer, it's just giving the space for Rosethorn and the rest of the team to be able to clear out vision. Make sure this side of the map is dark for Wildcard.
And you can see the benefits of it being dark. Those charms keep coming out of nowhere, and Quacker gets caught by one. If it's Darkwings or Aaron, it's going to be a very, very bad time. AOE control this side of the jungle.
Yeah, they sure do. And they're just standing here, hoping that someone's going to make a mistake, hoping that someone is going to step too far forward. And the whole team of Wildcard is here. Wow. But are they actually going to look for it? Nocturne, Ori, onto Rosethorn, onto Zamudo. I don't like that much.
Looking for Wixie. They don't have vision on Wixie at the moment. You can tell Winnie's really looking for this angle. Rosethorn's going to push him out. Troll ward right there. Nice. Would be nice to snap that up, and Zamudo's going to do just that. Denying vision is working very well for AoE because they can't get an angle onto Wixie. And right now, having Winnie in the mid lane means that this tower will be forfeit because AoE are not afraid of the combo.
And it's this push and pull between this mid and bot lane, and now because Onat isn't there,
go. Able to land the combo, looking for the back line. They want to take down Wixie, but he's still alive. Hostile takeover goes out. It's going to hold him down for long enough, and Aaron will grab a kill in the front. Gator goes down. Rosethorn has to flash over the wall, and the chase continues from Quacker and Winnie. Looking for the hunt onto Rosethorn. Looking for that stun, that slap. The charm comes through. Quacker takes a chunk of damage, but is going to be A-okay to continue the chase. Wildcard, they claim 2 off of a misstep of AoE.
Yeah, and I got to imagine, I'm wondering really what happened and why Onat didn't join. I think his teleport was just coming off of cooldown, so it wasn't a fight that AoE actually wanted. They ended up disengaging pretty well, and he's going to go ahead and use that teleport. He's saved! Oh!
That was so close right there. Darkwings, it was almost duck hunting season. Onat, empty-handed, unfortunately, will cost him his teleport in the process, but Wildcard, that was a good bounce back, man. I mean, They kept it front to back on one end, and this is the important part. The combo landed onto Wixie.
Oh, yeah, you can see it. The teleport onto Onat isn't quite there yet, and it was a really nice hostile takeover, essentially, that made this play happen. They threw everything they could to keep Wixie alive, but it's looking like Wildcard, they had just enough to take him out, and as soon as he's taken out early in a team fight, they feel really confident about moving forward and getting more kills.
Good pick from Wildcard, but we're going to need to see quite a few more of them. They do want to come back in this game. Now, keep in mind, it's still 1 minute and 45 seconds before Dragon Soul does come up, so this is something that AoE want to contest for. 2 minutes until Baron, so that's slightly after.
And this would be actually a really good Dragon Soul for Wildcard. I mean, so this entire comp is ult-reliant in a way where they want to run you down, so that extra move speed will be monumental in any team fight where Wildcard have the upper hand. That's something AoE, you don't want to let that one go through, and you can see them doing their due diligence around now, setting up topside, getting vision, just to make sure that you're in a good position to put everyone on the bottom side of the map.
It's exactly what AoE did over in the bot lane. They're just rotating it over towards this top side now as they dance around with vision, deny as much as they can, and not allow Wildcard a window back into this. More importantly, don't allow them to see Wixie alone.
And also hide Onat and Fog. This Ahri is 8-0 right now, level 16, which is huge. You have that 3rd rank in your ultimate. Not only is it going to be available, I'm not even kidding when I say every 35 to 40 seconds, but also you just get that extra bit of damage that comes along with it as well.
A Wildcard fighting for position onto the map. Intention over the mid lane right now for both of these squads. And this is where Wildcard might have a window of opportunity right now. Wixie does have his flash up. So that'll be big for trying to get out from that very deadly combo of the Nocturne Orianna. But AOE with the first foot onto the river with 10 seconds left on the Drake.
That's hard. You can't just simply pull the trigger, and playing in Fog is really nice for AOE now. Again, because of Onat, he's so strong. He lands a charm, he can make a play happen here for AOE. So right now you can see them jockeying for position, trying to get this mid lane cleared so that they can walk down and take the Drake.
All right, here we go. The combo goes and it lands beautifully. Flashes come out. Onat's able to bail. Going forward is Onat with the Spirit Rush. Quacker will chase him down, and the first one's going to fall. It's going to be Winnie. Zamudo has to bail out. Doesn't have that much health. Doxa in a bad way. Gets chased down by Wixie. Wixie's bringing the arrows. Wixie's untapped. Wixie's untouched. Still a kill on the back end as Aaron's able to find something back with a shutdown, but Rosethorn spots him out with the sweeper. Will hop right over that wall, and Aaron will fall. Darkwing's the last survivor. AOE win.
AOE not only win the fight, they're going to win 2 objectives here. Oh, I'm surprised. I thought they were going to go for both. They definitely could have, but they want to secure the Baron. Looking at this combo again, this was beautiful. Onat being the target is correct. The problem is he still has flash. He still has ult. They didn't have enough gas in the tank to make it happen, and they're not paying attention to Wixie. He has the wild growth. He is at 3 items. He's resetting. He does so much damage, and they don't have an answer.
Just pop, 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 pop. Gunning them down so fast, those arrows landing beautifully from Wixie. But if you don't get Wixie down, he will remain unchecked like that. He'll keep bringing in that sustained DPS. It's not just Onat who is a big target. You have to keep in mind the other carry of AoE as well, as another teleport's going to come out. Quacker holding the line for Wildcard, but Onat's coming on a D-flank right now, and they have no vision. They have no clue this is coming. Here comes Onat, lands the charm right onto Doxa. Doxa's pulled in. Rosethorn still forward, full force from AOE. They'll chase down every member of Wildcard and eviscerate them. Onat backs away, and the Gator's the only one who can put this ace right in for Wildcard as they'll clean up.
And a really nice game coming through from AOE. 10K lead, and they're going to finish this one out in 32 minutes. A really nice start to the series from our 8th seed, especially with their tournament lives on the line.
And that is AOE. 8th seed that almost took down 1st seed. Now going to get their win against Wildcard with 1 more to go to continue in the lower bracket.
And Wildcard really feeling the heat now, as again, this is your last life. They are down 0-1. All AOE need to do is put 1 more game to end Wildcard's split.
1 more game. AOE will proceed while Wildcard will unfortunately have an end to their postseason. So they got to bring it back, and they got to do it now. We're going to throw it over to short break. When we return, we'll get into game number 2, AOE versus Wildcard.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long. Or a churro, and probably not a pretzel either. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. To which we said, but we already made them. And they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, next up in some news, it was announced that NACA Finals will be live here in the Riot Games Arena, which is obviously a pretty big deal because this could be the first time some of these players are actually taken to the stage.
I am so pumped for this. To get to see players experience their first ever game on stage is incredible. You know, kind of learning what it's like.
What's NACL?
So, speaking of Magic, Cubby, I hear you worked some to get NACL Finals live somehow.
Yeah, team effort. But you know what? We're going back to the studio on April 1st for our live finals. You can get tickets now, and there's even going to be an award show to go along with it.
So you know what's interesting, Emily? Not only are they bringing back the most valuable prospect, but they're introducing a new slew of awards for the players and teams also to vote on.
Yeah, so looking at the list, there's also going to be a most improved player and a rookie of the split award, and they're voting for all pros. It's kind of like we do in the LCS, so it'll feel a little more familiar, I guess.
Yeah, NACL is going to be highlighting more players for their performance over the last split, and I think that's going to be awesome.
I already know who my MVP is, but now I gotta think about all those other awards too.
And also, finals are live, so we could all go technically and see the players.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool that they opened up the voting for the awards to the teams and the players as well.
Yeah, even the NACL co-streamers are going to get a chance to fill out their ballots this year. It's awesome to see so many different community members involved.
Yo, Eric, they just announced that NACL finals are live and we can get tickets.
Oh, sick. Playoffs are on right now. Put it on.
Let's go.